Kawat kikve pitiye Jayda jalila de Rahase Champions League Ek hada gas mein Hanguman kikve Java naramenne Bhagi dulanne bhidi dasate goal ek gannai sit sarasenne samarok venne saddeta denne We are one game One heart One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the light
Football புதுமொழியே இனங்கள் மதங்கள் கடந்திடுமே ஒன்றாய் இணைந்து பள்ளி தொற்றாயல்கள் தாண்டிடுமோ The lights are shining, the crowd will roll This is the moment we waited for The passion's rising, the call is clear The Champions League is finally
One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the light
We play for love, pride and fame For every child who dreams again No borders here, no fear, no end Just one dream that we defend மரங்கள் கிக்காகவே களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னவும் நாமே நாமே சாம்பியன்ஸ் லீக் வரவே உணர்வதற்கே தருமே
Cheer ekai කැම්මක් දෙන්නේ කොල්ලො සෙට් එකම එක් වෙන්නේ ගෝල් එකට කික් එක දෙන්නේ Champions League මේ ඇරෙන්නේ One game, one heart Champions League සටනයි ඇරෙන්නේ පිපි දෙන්නේ ජය ගන්නේ එක සීනට අපි යන්නේ One game, one heart Champions League where dreams take part Raise your flags, feel the art Football, one game, one heart Hey oh, one dream, one star Hey oh, one game, one heart Champions League, forever we play The spirit of football leads the way
Sri Lanka Football Champions League. Powered by TV Supreme.
A very good evening to all our viewers joining us live. We are here at the Kalaniya Football Complex, and I'm Bilal Marika. Pleasure to be your commentator for the day, and we've got an exciting match on our hands. It's Crystal Palace FC taking on Negombo Youth FC. Of course, Crystal Palace FC from Gampala, reigning from the hills, and Negombo Youth, of course, from the seaside. This will be a tussle here today at the Kalaniya Football Complex. Both of them fighting it out in these relegation rounds. Both these teams have some very good names amidst themselves, some foreign players as well. Here are the referees and the players taking their place on the pitch for a few formalities. Welcome down to the pitch with a round of applause from their loyal fans who have travelled all this way to the Kalania Football Complex from their home grounds in for a cracker of a match today, because both these teams will be feeling that they were unlucky not to make it to the Super 8 round. However, they still know there will be hope. They still know that they can impress their fans, impress their loyal fans, and make something out of these relegation rounds. Here's the weather forecast for today. Quite a humid day as per usual in these Colombo suburbs. 32 degrees Celsius. Quite a hot day as well, with not much of a breeze in these grounds. However, these players will be playing their heart out here today. Both these teams have traveled from outstation today for this match, so they know they'll be hoping that their trip back to their hometowns will be one that will be jubilant, that will echo the victory they are able to gain today at these grounds. And that's Crystal Palace FC wearing the purple jerseys. Of course, Negombo Youth wearing the yellow jersey. The two captains, Mohamed Shemak and for Crystal Palace FC, and Anthony Namdi for Negombo Youth. Here for the toss. Referee just explaining a few formalities before the actual match commences. Anthony Namdi, of course, has played in Nigeria. Will be bringing a ton of experience along with the other foreign players as well, playing for both these teams. Of course, that's something that we have to talk about. Something, of course, the experience that these overseas players bring to these teams is something invaluable as well. And we are quite glad that they are here today. And these are the officials for the day. We'll be having N.M. Rumi, the main man, assisted by R.A. Ratnayaka, Malika Madhushani, and of course the fourth official, Asanka Silva. Exchange of pleasantries done. Crystal Palace FC will be taking the right side of the ground, and the left side will belong to Negombo Youth FC. Here's the team lineups for the day. We'll be having Denwan De Silva, Mashen Bandara, Isaac Abba, Brian Virapuli, Michael Akwaye, Mohamed Shemak, the captain, Mohamed Ilsham, Mohamed Riflan in goal, Godwin Amasevu, Sinnaraz Askar, and Sivachelvam Dushantan starting for today. And of course, the coach will be looking from the sidelines. Nalin the Konare will be instructing his team, hoping that his team comes out on top today. Negombo Youth FC also have a formidable team In goal, they'll be having Ganesh Krishantha. Captain, of course, Anthony Namdi will be leading from the front. And Sandhu Niroshan, Jude Shehan, Madhu Shankar Tisera, Mohammad Hakim, Nishara Fernando, Malisha Pereira, Mohammad Rifkan, Chatumal Fernando, and Sulakshana Piris will be in the starting 11. And off we go here. And a high press can be seen from Negombo Youth. Two players committed to the high press. The number 13 and number 18. Two midfielders, Nishara Fernando and Mohammad Rifkan. Interesting to see how both these teams will be approaching this game as well. Playing from the back. Sinnaraz Askar making sure his team retains possession. Godwin Amasevu there to Isaac Abba. Position has been exchanged here. And it's the dynamic number 9, Mohammad Hakim, who unfortunately leaves possession. And early on here, a forward run disrupted. Mahasen Bandara there in the wing with a huge throw in into the box. Mahasen Bandara once again, will he be looking for that cross? Yes, he does, but a wayward cross there. Not the most ideal start to the game. Have they been able to get that cross into the box? There definitely would have been some sort of pressure there. Of course, you also have to take into account the fact that on this side of the goal, there's just a slight bit of an incline there, right outside the box on the left side of the goal. That's not something that you can see on your screens here, but it's quite evident on the pitch. So that's something that the players will be aware of as well. And I'm just wondering if that was something that they kept in mind when they were choosing the sides at the toss. But anyways, here's Crystal Palace FC with some good build-up here. And they've got an attacking opportunity now. An attempt at a cross. A pass into the box. Ball still at the Crystal Palace FC's feet. A cross here, but unfortunately, that's been ruled as offside. Rather hasty decision there that has resulted in that offside. Should have been better. Now that's two attacking opportunities, two threats that Crystal Palace FC could have created that has fallen short. Here's Godwin Amasevu once again into the box there for the number 10, Brian Veerapulli. Little overcooked there by Amasevu. Not the most ideal throw in here. And possession given away to Negombo Youth FC. Tussle for the ball. Brian Veerapulli knew that he was guilty there. And here's Crystal Palace FC now with an attacking opportunity. They'll have to take it here. That's Isaac Abba there, who will be looking to cross into the box. We'll be having a number of players in the box here. And here's the cross. Sails in, finds the tall man, but not enough direction. to get it inside the box. Good bit of attacking play there. And an accurate cross by Isaac Abba. That's exactly what Crystal Palace FC will be looking for. It almost got their number 12 there. The tall number 12. That's Michael Acquire. A name we heard quite a lot. Here's that replay once again. Michael Acquire just getting that cross, but well defended there by the number 6. That's Jude Shehan for Negombo Youth. So good defensive awareness there. Apologies. Isaac Abba not impressed by that challenge, but play will continue here. No, it seems like referee has called it back. Michael Acquire just being a little too hasty there. Here's Acquire to Isaac Abba. Isaac Abba to the number 24, Sinaraz Askar. And play. Ball has been stolen by Chatumal Fernando. Overhead pass that trickles away into touch. And in these opening few minutes, Negombo Youth hasn't had a lot of possession here. Possession has been dominated by Crystal Palace FC. However, they haven't been able to finish off the chances, the half chances that they did create. Of course, that free kick of Isaac Abba into Michael Acquire is defended quite well, but the rest of the chances could have been finished off a little bit better than what we've seen so far. Crystal Palace fans will be hoping that it's just the nerves of these opening few minutes and that they'll get back into their rhythm as soon as possible. However, it seems like Negombo Youth, a crucial mistake there that might result. No, it doesn't. Ever so close. The young winger Sivachelvam Dushantan, too overcooked for him to get to that ball there. And the first little threat there to the Crystal Palace FC goalkeeper. That's Mohamed Riflan. Here's the youngster passing the ball to Isaac Abba. Retains it quite well. Passes it forward to Brian Veerapulli. The youngster once again getting involved. However, that's a little push there. Player won't be very happy with that play on the ground. That's Mohamed Rifkan. But a tactical foul, however, by Mohamed Ilsham there to make sure Rifkan couldn't do much with the ball. Here's that tackle. Wonderful tackle there. Tackle plus clearance to get that ball away. Be going again here, Negombo Youth. Finally getting some chance to pose some sort of attacking threat, and it'll be the number 8, Madhushanka Tisera, who will attempt to serve as a pivot. However, good bit of disrupting play there by Crystal Palace. And that has also resulted in the corner flag being taken down as well. Have some frantic officials just making sure that things will be in order here. While they do that, of course, play will continue. Here's Mohamed Riflan on your screen. Just making sure everything's calmed down just a little bit. Everything's in order before he can actually restart. Opening few minutes has been dominated by Crystal Palace FC here. They've deprived Negombo Youth of any sort of possession at all, which is quite remarkable. Negombo Youth, of course, started off with a high press by their two midfielders, which was interesting to see. But well maneuvered there by Crystal Palace to make sure that they retain the ball, to make sure they maintain their composure as well. It will be interesting to see how Negombo Youth actually shake down this Crystal Palace defense as well. It's Mohamed Shemak in defense, the captain with his armband. An attempt to dribble past, and a brilliant cross there into the box. We waited with bated breath here in the commentary box, wondering if that was going in, but just misdirected. And Negombo Youth has shown that given the opportunity, given a bit of possession, that they can definitely create chances here. Here's the number 25, Anthony Namdi, the captain. He will be looking for a pass into the box here. The number 18, Mohamed Rifkan. Pass has been intercepted. Isaac Abba now. The old veteran just showing Sivachelvam Dushantan his place there. Good clearance of the ball. No remorse there. He knows they will need some intensity to shake things up here. They will need to play some intense football if they are to go home with a victory. Well kept in there, however. Possession has been exchanged. Here's Mohamed Shemak passing to his left back, Mohamed Ilsham. Ilsham has been quite promising in defense so far. Tall young lad. And a good touch as well. Some impressive skills there to get past. And Brian Veerapuli just not able to get to that pass. Would have been promising chance there created by Mohamed Ilsham. Play resumes here. And Crystal Palace once again have managed to regain possession. However, that was an offside. Brian Veerapuli, guilty man once again. It's well done by the goalkeeper. Brilliantly done there by Mohamed Riflan. He saw the danger, saw the threat, but here, now there's a threat here at the opposite end. Goal at his mercy, but brilliantly done by the defense there. That was Sinnaraz Askar. Touch. Not the most perfect one, but brilliant bit of defense by Sandhu Niroshan to keep his composure. Jude Shehan completely lost it. But then thanks to Sandhu Niroshan, they were able to shake off Sinnaraz Askar there. Once again, another opportunity just gone away by Crystal Palace. A rather ambitious shot there. Speculative shot. by Negombo Youth. Negombo Youth so far in this opening quarter of an hour have only chosen one avenue of attack, and that's on the right wing. If they are to make sure that they are able to create more chances, they'll have to create more avenues of attack as well. And this is some brilliant play. And Sivachelvam Dushantan now with a strike to Sinnaraz Askar, however, is unable to control that ball. And the keeper, Ganesh Krishant, does extremely well. Sivachelvam Dushantan has been quite good in the left wing for Crystal Palace FC so far. Just a couple decisions that he could have taken to elevate the game just a bit further. However, he's in the wall now with Isaac Arba, because it's great to see that these young players are getting a chance to start the game as well. And a shot taken there. Once again, rather a tame effort by Negombo Youth. Mohammad Riflan with a long pass. Ball exchanging possession in the midfield. It's tussle for the ball, resulting in Brian Veerapuli just passing it to his goalkeeper all the way from the front line. Here's Riflan once again. Found a man unmarked, and they've managed to gain some purchase from that ball. Good little pass there to the number 7, Isaac Arba. Trickles into touch again. Once again, Crystal Palace with a strong attacking position here. They'll definitely be looking for that long ball into the box again. Ball into the box. A struggle there. Player Brian demanding that he was held down by Sulakshana Piris. And they'll be having another chance, and will be interesting to see what they'll be doing here. And it's Michael Akwaye, tallest man on the field today, also making his way into the box, marked by 2 people there. Marked by the captain himself. And here's the corner opportunity. Referee is not happy with something that's happened there. Apologies, I did mention that it was a throw-in earlier. It was a corner. And Isaac Arba taking that corner. Once again, looking for Michael Akwaye. But Michael Akwaye is surrounded by a bunch of yellow jerseys there. They of course know that he is a threat. They've done well to subdue him in that box so far whenever those corners have come. And here's Namdi now. Pokes it into open area there, hoping that his winger gets it. Then Wandy Silva just kicks it out of play into touch, giving his other defenders time to regain some composure. Cross into the box there. Some beautiful bit of skill, however. Gets past only one defender. The next one gets him. Good bit of defending that we've seen from Crystal Palace FC so far. Godwin Amasevu. Referee is not happy with that shove from Madhushanka Tisera. Quick restart here. Brian Veerapulli. Clearly offside there. Definitely not the first time that this has happened in the match, and he should be making sure that he doesn't negate that attacking threat by staying offside there. But it's been 20 minutes so far in this match, and neither of these teams have scored, although Crystal Palace definitely came closer to scoring here a couple times as well. And we've seen some shots on target by Negombo Youth also so far. Some good attempt at building from the back here by Crystal Palace. You don't see that very often by these teams. They always do opt for that long ball, hoping that their attackers can make something out of it. That's a good bit of control there by Mohamed Ilsham. Good bit of defense as well from Negombo Youth FC. And here's an opportunity now for the cross. Once again, looking for players here. Looking for players into the box. Not the best of passes there. Definitely could have built something a bit more threatening there, Negombo Youth. And here's Sinnaraz Askar now with an opportunity. He's been brought down legally. He has come down. It's Mohamed Ilsham there, who will suffer a yellow card for that breach of peace. Here's the replay. Once again, because the number 16, Mohamed Ilsham. Long cross into the box there. But a host of players could do nothing. Sinnaraz Askar, usually he does play in the wing, and the ball just racing past the captain there, Anthony Namdi. Almost getting himself into the ditch from that chase. To no avail there. Good opportunity though, and a good pass for from Negombo Youth. Negombo Youth once again looking a bit more threatening these past few minutes. However, something that they do have to do. But here's an opportunity now. Sinnaraz Askar has been deemed offside. Crystal Palace will be thinking that it was another wasted opportunity for themselves. They had Sivachelvam Dushantan and Sinnaraz Askar hugging that line. But Negombo Youth playing a high line here. Not the first time that they have been able to find the Crystal Palace attackers offside. Michael Acquire doing enough to disrupt that defense. Restart from the throw-in. Doesn't go as successful as they would have wanted it to. Negombo Youth, who was in the background, you can see in the adjacent ground. That was that yellow card. Sinnaraz Askar just... Apologies, Mohamed Ilsham just leaving his foot out, tripping the other player up. Here's Brian Veerapulli contesting for the ball. Brian Veerapulli gets it. Well done there. But a wayward pass. Well intercepted by Madhushanka Thisera. And here's Namdi now. A swarm of purple jerseys descending upon him. Godwin Amasevu guilty of the foul there. He knows it. But it is another opportunity for Madhushanka Thisera to get that ball into the box. It's what they've done when these free kicks have been in the Crystal Palace half. But not this time. Deems it a bit too far. Ball sails harmlessly past the defenders into Mohammad Riflan's hands. Here we go with the restart once again. Long ball into Brian Veerapulli. Brian Veerapulli does well to keep control of that ball. And here's Sivachelvam Dushanthan with the cross. And oh dear, brilliant chance for Crystal Palace. Gone begging once again. Brian Veerapulli definitely should have gotten his leg to that ball there. Crystal Palace will be having a corner for themselves. But here's that opportunity once again. Brilliantly done by Sivachelvam Dushanthan. Great timing as well. However, just unable to get to the ball on time there. Acquire in that box once again. Isaac Arba not getting it right. Godwin Amasevu fighting for the ball, tussling for the ball there. It's Mohammad Shemak, the captain. Long ball into the box, but just finds the keeper. Referee has been quite busy as well these past few minutes. You've seen a yellow card and a number of blows calling the fouls. Then Wandi Silva with the restart. Into the box looking for Sinnaraz Askar. Doesn't get it. Here's Mohammad Ilsham now. Ilsham plays it back to Godwin Amasevu. High press. And not the best of passes here. Here's Namdi. Attempting to descend on that ball. Living dangerously here, Crystal Palace. And here's Isaac Arba now with an opportunity. He dribbles past two. Goes for goal there, but sails just above the post. Isaac Arba dribbled past one, dribbled past two. But just couldn't get that contact right there. Once again, like we did mention, there's a bit of an incline there on that part of the pitch. Dribble past one, dribble past another. Just couldn't get that shot right. And well done by the defender as well. Here's another opportunity for a cross. Doesn't make much of an impact in the context of the game. Ball trickles out. Here's Crystal Palace FC once again. Pressing high, putting pressure. Sivachelvam Dushanthan fighting for that ball and reaping the rewards, because they've now gotten another throw in. Ilsham to Amasevu. Amasevu doesn't get the control right. The number 18, Mohammad Rifkan, had his captain Namdi going forward, but Ball has been lost in possession. Madhusanka Thisera using his physicality to his advantage there. Bullying the young winger. Mohammad Shemak attempting to handle the ball there before it went out of touch. Just a little mistake there, and he knows it. Cheeky smile to the referee in the sideline, but the referee was strongly confirmed. That was before it actually went out. So an opportunity now for Negombo Youth to make something out of this mistake here. If this actually results in a goal, Mohammad Shemak would be furious with himself, and he'll be hoping his defenders are up to the task here. Here's Madhushanka Thisera, and it's Mohammad Shemak who intercepts that cross, but the ball still in dangerous territory. A collision there. Namdi is not happy with what has happened and will wait for the referee. And it looks like the keeper is in a bit of trouble here. Here's that opportunity again. Namdi is not happy with what has transpired, and it looks like with that replay also that Mohammad Riflan should be okay. I will of course milk this opportunity to just pause the game for a bit, collect themselves also. Not the best of clearances there by the defense. Namdi, seeing that opportunity, wanted to capitalize on it. However, keeper did just enough to get to that ball on time. Crystal Palace will be thanking their lucky stars that they've managed to come out of this unscathed so far. In these past few minutes, Negombo Youth have really brought that intensity into this game. We haven't seen much of Chatumal Fernando so far. A young lad in the number 20 jersey. Because in our team card, he is registered as a forward. However, it seems like he is taking more of a midfielder role, and there was a good touch there. Good touch and turn by Brian Veerapuli. However, not the expected result. Looked quite smooth there on the ball. Crystal Palace FC will be hoping they see more of that version of Brian Veerapuli. The version who can befuddle defenders. Version who can score some goals. The version who can get to this ball, and he does. Opportunity for a cross now. Well defended. Sinnaraz Askar in the ball. Stolen from his feet by the Negombo Youth defenders, and here's Negombo Youth with the counter here. Mohammad Shemak does enough to disrupt it, the captain, and here's Godwin Amasevu charging down that right flank. Godwin Amasevu still with that ball. Speculative effort. Here's the keeper skying the ball high in the air. Right to the tallest man on the pitch, Michael Akwaye. And here's Dushanthan now. Isaac Abba playing it into some space for Dushanthan. Askar tussling for the ball once again, and here's Namdi. Namdi will be looking for a counter here. Good pace here by him. Good composure also shown by him. He runs into space there. However, just unable to get that pass away. We've seen another yellow card now. So Michael Acquaye looks like from this point who has gotten that yellow card by the ref, but we'll wait for confirmation here. And yes, it does look like it is Michael Acquaye. And 2 yellows now to 2 defenders of Crystal Palace. So that'll be in the back of their minds as well, and that'll be in the back of the Negombo youth players as well. It's Mohamed Ilsham, the right back, and the central defender, Michael Acquaye, who both now will have to walk on a bit of eggshells here, because if they do infringe the law once again. So this was the previous shout for the handball there. So, of course, referee not calling it, and rightfully so. I believe there wasn't much there to see. Here's Madhushanka Thisera now. Not the ideal cross going in as the ball goes out, finding none of his players nor the defenders, just sails harmlessly past. Here's that replay there of the call for the handball. Of course, it wasn't spotted by the ref, so play did go on, and the ball did land on an advantageous position for Negombo Youth as well, so they wouldn't be minding that too much at this point of the game. Here's Godwin Amasevu now, brilliantly done there to Dushanthan. Little bit of a heavy touch, but Dushanthan is able to control it. Sinnaraz Askar once again. Clearly wasn't intentional, but another yellow card, and this is 3 yellow cards now for Crystal Palace FC, and little worrying that it's still the first half. It's almost the 40th minute, and they've accumulated 3 yellow cards for themselves already. But clearly, as we can see from that replay there, Sinnaraz Askar just couldn't stop in time. He went for that ball, chased after it. However, just couldn't get into time and ran straight into the keeper there, who did well to come off of his line and retain the ball. And as we approach the final few minutes of this first half, it looks like both teams, although they had been able to create opportunities to score, are goalless. But will that change in these upcoming minutes? Dushanthan, a lot of energy, pressing high and doing well. Here's Isaac Arba to Dushanthan. A little bit of a 1-2. Godwin Amasevu getting into the mix as well, but not the best of crosses there by Isaac Arba. Godwin Amasevu getting right back there, getting the ball, and here's Sinnaraz Askar once again with an opportunity, but it has been called offside again. Caught off of his line. Need a bit more awareness than that. This is the 3rd or 4th time that this has happened to Crystal Palace. Regardless of that offside, of course, not the best of finishes either. Mohamed Shemak intercepting it. Here's the captain, Anthony Namdi. Captain with Michael Acquaye, who, mind you, has a yellow card already. So he would be careful around there. But not Dushanthan. Dushanthan doing well. to get that ball for themselves. And the young lad, Sivachelvam Dushantan, has definitely impressed so far in these opening few minutes in this first half. And rather abysmal tackle there. And they will be conceding their position as well. Here's the previous offside ruling, because we can't see the entire pitch from that frame. However, you can notice that Sinaraz Askar was just quite ahead, I have to say, past those defenders. Here's Mohammad Riflan once again. These players will be aware of the fact that time is running out in this first half. We have approached the final 5 minutes of this first half. Still goalless, both these teams. Yesterday's game also a close game. Also ended up in a draw, goalless. And the fans will be hoping that won't be the case today as well here at the Kalania Football Complex, because both these teams have travelled a long way out to be here. We also haven't seen any substitutions so far by both these teams. And here's Brian Veerapulli in that wing now. And you can also see the impact the uneven ground is having on the passes as well. Ball just having a bit of an unpredictable bounce there, which ideally shouldn't be the case. However, you have to make do with what you have. And of course, speaking with making do with what we have, of course, the Workers' World Cup 2026 in Qatar has also kicked off, and Sri Lanka in Group A with countries like Kenya, Nigeria and Ghana will be looking to play some exciting football as well. And they've actually finished off their first match there, and they've managed to keep Kenya to a draw at the Workers' World Cup 2026. So some good promising signs for football all around in this country. But here's an opportunity now for Negombo Youth, and just unable to finish it there, Anthony Namdi. Brilliant cross by Mohammad Rifkan. He has been a threat from the beginning for Negombo Youth. And another opportunity now, Anthony Namdi with his dancing feet in the box, just unable to get past Michael Acquire. And once again, not the desired result. Definitely should have been a break there. Here's the replay once again. Brilliant cross, but Namdi just unable to finish it off. And here's Crystal Palace on the counter. Brian Veerapulli going after that ball there. Passes it to his right back, Denwan De Silva, who has been rather quiet for the majority of this match, but has done quite well in the defense, maintaining that clean sheet so far. Both these teams' defenders, of course, do have a clean sheet, but I just feel like Crystal Palace has been a bit more solid with their defense in terms of overall defense, of course, because we have seen a lot more attacking threats at this end of the pitch than the other, except for that last little breakaway we saw, which could have actually resulted in a goal. But Mohammad Shemak, the captain, doing just enough to disrupt Negombo Youth's captain, Anthony Namdi, from finishing off well. And here's Isaac Abba now. He'll be looking for a goal here. His team will be looking for a goal here in these dying minutes of the first half. We are in the final minute of the first half, and it will be brilliant Final minute of regulation time. It will be brilliant for Crystal Palace if they can actually go into half time with a goal. And here's the cross. Ball still in close proximity. Brian Virapuli passes it back to his defender. Michael Acquire still in the box, right in front. Crystal Palace still with possession. Negombo Youth doing just enough. To keep Crystal Palace at bay. And we'll be having 2 additional minutes here at the Kalnia Football Complex before the whistle blows for half time. And here's Mohammad Shemak now. Speculative shot, I would say. That harmless, it goes into the hands of the keeper, Ganesh Krishantha, who immediately boots it down to Mohammad Rifkan in that wing. Mohammad Rifkan just manhandled there by Mohammad Ilsham, but saved here. And another good opportunity for Negombo Youth, and they go for the shot. Anthony Namdi once again, but good positioning there by Mohammad Rifkan to stop that goal. And he immediately goes for the counter. They know they have limited time here in this first half, and they know the impact that can be created if they can actually finish off with a goal. But a harmless cross there by Isaac Aba, and not the best of defenses from Negombo Youth gives Crystal Palace possession back. Here's the young winger, and a good bit of clearance there from the defender to get the ball out of dangerous territory. Ball still rolling away in the background, and Mohammad Ilsham will be looking for that throw in, and he'll be looking for his players as well. Giving enough time, the brief pause in play for the Negombo Youth players to well proceed. But Isaac Aba, ball getting to him from Mohammad Ilsham. Possession has been exchanged though, and this has been quite a long 2 minutes here. And will it actually finish off with a Negombo Youth goal? Negombo Youth threatening here now. The number 13 just not getting it right, Nishara Fernando. Will be a restart for Crystal Palace from the back. And that's the end of the first half. Referee blows his whistle after a rather long 2 minutes here at Kalania Football Complex. And at halftime, as both these teams go out, the score is at 0-0. So all to play for in the second half. Here's the halftime confirmation. Neither Crystal Palace nor Negombo Youth able to breach each other's defense, able to pierce through that defense. Of course, there were quite an interesting number of opportunities created by both these teams, might I say, which we will be focusing on shortly through the highlights. However, unable to finish off, and I feel like that is also the gap in these relegation teams and the Super 8 teams as well. Don't get me wrong, both these teams play brilliant football, but just the finish that they haven't been able to find consistently. And here are the highlights. We will be able to see those chances that were created, and there were quite a number of chances as well. Brian Virapuli playing from the front had a number of chances for himself also. not the best of crossers in the beginning. However, there's that good bit of defense there by Jude Shehan to deprive Michael Akwaye of a goal early on, and Sinnaraz Askar as well had plenty of opportunities, but time and time again Negombo Youth defenders were able to keep them at bay. And here's the yellow card for Mohammad Ilsham. Unnecessary yellow card, I would say, and a brilliant cross by the young number 26, that's Sivachelvam Dushanthan. Keep your eye out for him. And that's the miss by Isaac Aba. A little bit of collision there. However, play going strong, and at the other end as well, a little bit of collision more. Sinnaraz Askar just not able to stop himself in time, but earning himself a yellow card in the process. So there have been 3 yellow cards in this first half, and all 3 going for Crystal Palace as well. And late into that first half, we saw Negombo Youth creating plenty of opportunities for themselves. They held on to the game. They didn't allow Crystal Palace to run away in those opening few minutes, and they came back strong in the latter half of that first half. And we'll be going for a short commercial break here from the Kalaniya Football Complex, and we'll be back with a lot of live action from the second half of this match, so stay tuned.
Champions League एक हाथ गैस में हैंगुमन किक पे जब नरमने भागी दुल्हने भीदी दस्ते गोल एक गन्नाई सित सरसने समरोक विन्ने साथ देने We are one game, one heart. One game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the
Football under புதுமொழியே இனங்கள் மதங்கள் கடந்திடுமே ஒன்றாய் இணைந்து பயணித்தொன்றாய் எல்லைகள் தாண்டியதோ
The lights are shining, the crowd will roll. This is the moment we waited for. The passion's rising, the call is clear. The Champions League is finally one game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the we play for love, pride and fame. For every child who dreams a game. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend.
மரங்கள் கிக்காகவே களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னவும் நாமே நாமே சாம்பியன்ஸ் லீக் வரவே உணர்வதற்கே தருமே
Cheer ekai kemmak denne kollo set ekama ek wenne goal ekata kick එක denne Champions League mein aramenne One game, one heart, Champions League satanai aramenne pipi denne jaya ganne එක සීනට අපි යන්නේ One game, one heart,
Sri Lanka Football Champions League. Powered by TV Supreme.
හදවත් කික්වේ පිටියේ ජයදජලලදේ රැහසේ Champions League එක හද ගැස්මේ හැඟුමන් කික්වේ ජවයෙන් නැරමෙන්නේ පාදි දුලන්නේ විහිදී දසතේ ගෝල් එක ගන්නයි සිත් සැරසෙන්නේ සැමරොක් වෙන්නේ සද්දෙට දෙන්නේ We are one game One heart One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions
ஃபுட்பால் புதுமொழியே இனங்கள் மதங்கள் கடந்திடுமே ஒன்றாய் இணைந்து பயணித்தொன்றாய் எல்லைகள் தாண்டியதோ
The lights are shining, the crowd will roll. This is the moment we waited for. The passion's rising, the call is clear. The Champions League is finally
One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the
we play for love, pride and fame. For every child who dreams a game. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend.
மரங்கள் கிக்காகவே களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னவும் நாமே நாமே சாம்பியன்ஸ் லீக் வரவே உணர்வதற்கே தருமே
Cheer එකයි කැම්මක් දෙන්නේ කොල්ලො සෙට් එකම එක් වෙන්නේ ගෝල් එකට කික් එක දෙන්නේ Champions League මේ ඇරඹෙන්නේ One game, one heart Champions League සටනයි ඇරඹෙන්නේ පිපි දෙන්නේ ජය ගන්නේ එක සීනට අපි යන්නේ One game, one heart Champions League where dreams take part Raise your flags, feel the art Football, one game, one heart Hey oh, one dream, one star Hey oh, one game, one heart Champions League, forever we play The spirit of football leads the way
Sri Lanka Football Champions League. Powered by TV Supreme.
හදවත් කික්වේ පිටියේ ජයදජලලදේ රැහසේ Champions League එක හද ගැස්මේ හැඟුමන් කික්වේ ජවයෙන් නැරමෙන්නේ පාදි දුලන්නේ විහිදී දසතේ ගෝල් එක ගන්නයි සිත් සැරසෙන්නේ සැම රොක් වෙන්නේ සද්දෙට දෙන්නේ We are one game One heart One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the light දසතේ ගෝල් එක ගන්නයි සිත් සැරසෙන්නේ සැම රොක් වෙන්නේ සද්දෙට දෙන්නේ We are one game One heart One game, one heart Champions League This is where we start Together we dream, together we fight We are the champions Under the
ஃபுட்பால் புதுமொழியே இனங்கள் மதங்கள் கடந்திடுமே ஒன்றாய் இணைந்து பயணித்தொன்றாய் எல்லைகள் தாண்டியிடணும்
The lights are shining, the crowd will roll. This is the moment we waited for. The passion's rising, the call is clear. The Champions League is finally
One game, one heart, Champions League. This is where we start. Together we dream, together we fight. We are the champions. Under the
we play for love, pride and fame. For every child who dreams again. No borders here, no fear, no end. Just one dream that we defend.
மரங்கள் கேட்காதுமே களத்தில் உறுதியாய் மின்னவும் நாமே நாமே சாம்பியன்ஸ் லீக் வரவே உணர்வதற்கே தருமே
cheer එකයි කැම්මක් දෙන්නේ. කොල්ලෝ සෙට් එකම එක් වෙන්නේ. ගෝල් එකට කික් එක දෙන්නේ. Champions League මේ ඇරඹෙන්නේ. One game, one heart, Champions League සටනයි ඇරඹෙන්නේ. පිබිදෙන්නේ, ජය ගන්නේ.
And we're back here live from the Calania Football Complex for the second half of this game. Match week 2, match number 2. It's Crystal Palace FC taking on Negombo Youth FC, and we have a few substitutions. We'll be having Hemantha Bandaragoda going in for Denuan De Silva. Both these teams, of course, haven't scored a goal in the first half, although they did come quite close. Defense is also doing quite well, and it looks like Isaac Abba has also been taken off for Nagaratnam Ajit Kumar. So an interesting substitution, because Nagaratnam is a defender and Isaac Abba was quite prominent in that midfield and that front attack as well. So an interesting substitution made at the beginning of this second half for Crystal Palace. Will be interesting to see the formation they take as well, with and without the ball, while on defense and the attack. And so far it doesn't seem like Anthony Namdi's team has changed anything up. And we're off here. Proceedings are underway in the second half between Crystal Palace and Negombo Youth. Mohammad Akim with the ball. Passing it long, but safe. Michael Akwaye heads it down. Nishara Fernando going for that power shot, but just not getting the right direction. Barely troubling the keeper. Mohammad Riflan marshalling his players, asking them to go high above the pitch. Well intercepted there, and it looks like Nishara Fernando will find himself in an offside position as well. Interesting note also, and that's Hemant Bandaragoda that you see there on your screen, if I'm not mistaken. He's been on this football circuit for quite a while, one of the senior players here. 47 years of age, if I'm not mistaken. Could be. And straight to one of the youngest players on the pitch there. That's Dushantan. What we haven't seen so far from either of these teams is that connection between the players, between the defense, the midfield, and the attack. Individually, on paper, they look quite promising. But however, when taken as a team, and Mohammad Shemak, the captain there, his foot being trodden on, there hasn't been, or rather, there's been less of that connection that we've seen. That cohesion, rather, the better word. It's Michael Akwaye passing the ball to Mohammad Shemak there. The replay of what happened, and Anthony Namdi just stepping on Shemak's foot. Michael Akwaye, long, powerful boot, but well intercepted by Negombo Youth, and once again ball exchanging position. It's Nagaratna Vajit Kumar, who looks like he will be taking control of the midfield as well. It is good news for the Crystal Palace fans, because seems like, although on paper he looks like he's a like-for-like defense, he is not a like-for-like substitution, because he plays in the defense and Isaac Aba plays in the midfield. Looks like he will be attempting to fill that pivotal role that Isaac Aba had previously engaged himself in. And here's Hemant Bandaragoda. Play still going on. And once again, that's Nishara Fernando finding himself offside. We're seeing exactly what happened in the first half in this side of the pitch happening now to Negombo Youth. The attackers from Crystal Palace were found offside quite a bit, quite a number of times. And early on in this first half, within the first 5 minutes itself, we've seen Nishara Fernando offside twice, caught offside. Being tested here, the Negombo Youth defense. Mahasen Bandara with the throw in. Mahasen Bandara with the cross, but no one there to receive it. So it just goes into the hands of the keeper, Ganesh Krishant, who passes it on to his defense. And an attempt to build from the back here. Disrupted, and here's a chance now for Crystal Palace. The young winger cross and an open goal. The keeper spills it and a beautiful goal, and it looks like it will be disallowed. He got a little too excited here. The celebrations cut short. A beautiful strike. And no, it does look like it's a goal. Apologies. The keeper spilling it there. And not the best of clearances. Perfect volley for the number 23. That's Godwin Amasevu. Brilliantly done finding the back of the net. That's exactly the type of start the Crystal Palace fans would have wanted to see. Brilliant stuff here. Godwin Amasevu making no mistake. Keeper would be rather disappointed with himself there for just spilling that ball. The defender doing everything he could to just boot it as far as possible, but it wasn't far enough as Godwin Amasevu did the needful. Good charge down here once again, and Crystal Palace, that's Sinnaraz Askar, still on the hunt. They know that Negombo Youth will be under pressure now as momentum is on their side. So these next few minutes should be capitalized upon by them. One goal can bring two, and usually often does. So they'll be looking for that second goal, and Negombo Youth will be doing everything they can to find that equalizer. Of course, it's still the beginning of the first half. There's many more minutes to go, and here's Hemant Bandaragoda with a cross sailing in, and Michael Akwaye seems to be quite shocked by that call for handball. And here's Negombo Youth now with a counter. We've taken the restart quite quickly. That's good pressing there by Brian to make sure that they win the ball, that they keep Negombo Youth at bay rather. Trickles out into touch once again, and we are seeing both these players play with an intensity that previously we did not see, and just a little mistake there by the goal scorer Amasevu. Was quite a good passing sequence by Crystal Palace. Some quick feet, which is rather pleasant to watch, must add. Here's Godwin Amasevu now charging down. Ball stolen from the feet of Brian. Here's the replay of that cross once again. Yeah, and you can see that Michael Akwaye just headed it down into his hand. Satmal Fernando with an opportunity and an open goal now. He just has to finish it off, and that's that. He's done it. Nishara Fernando has found the back of the net, and the floodgates have opened in this game. That's the equalizer for Negombo Youth. The referee will be showing his yellow card as well. Looks like. Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. Just lobbing it over the goalkeeper there, who charged down. Mohamed Riflan just charged down for the ball, but just lobbing it over him. Brilliant touch there, Nishara Fernando. This is exactly what Negombo Youth would have wanted themselves. And Crystal Palace have immediately found themselves under a bit of pressure here. Godwin Amasevu. And that's Anthony Namdi. Pressing high, pressing hard, putting pressure on the veteran Hemant Bandaragoda. And here's the restart. Hemant Bandaragoda taking it quickly. Godwin Amasevu there in the midfield. He'll be passing unsuccessfully as the ball is stolen from the feet, and Anthony Namdi unable to control it for himself. Good little body position there by Godwin Amasevu. Hemant Bandaragoda attempts to charge down through that middle, attempting to play the role of an inverted wing back there, but just not getting it right as he's met with a wall of yellow jerseys. Opportunity now for Negombo Youth. It will be interesting to see what they do with this free kick almost at the halfway mark. Sandhu Niroshan with the ball at his feet. Sandhu Niroshan. And now ball still alive here. They will be looking for the cross, and the cross goes in. Is this the second one? Yes, it is. Negombo Youth have struck twice. And what a beautiful cross to the number 18. That's Mohammad Rifkan. It was Nishara Fernando and Mohammad Rifkan who was pressing high from the very beginning, and they've reaped the rewards here. One of the shortest men on the pitch finding that header, and what a beautifully aimed cross by Sulakshana Piris there. Oh, this is brilliant. This is just brilliant from Negombo Youth. They've taken the wind from the sails of Crystal Palace, changed the game on their heads, and I did mention before that one goal can bring two, and it definitely has, not for Crystal Palace, but to Negombo Youth. Pierce the defense twice now, and that's exactly the type of finish that is needed here in these type of tournaments. Of course, in the latter half of the game, we did speak about the finish of these teams, that they were creating chances and they weren't able to finish, but this is exactly the type of finish that is needed. Youngster Dushantan doing his best to press high and win the ball, and Michael Acquire as well playing quite a high line here, Crystal Palace. And in just a few minutes, two quick goals. The game's turned on its head here. The floodgates have opened. We've had 3 goals so far after the commencement of this second half. What more can we expect here? Is there an equalizer for Crystal Palace, or will Negombo Youth run away with this game? Definitely at the moment, with the momentum that the Negombo Youth have created, looks like there's not much Mohammad Shemak and his team can do. However, they know they have the firepower required, and they just need to do right once or twice. They just need Negombo Youth to make a mistake to go through. Here's the replay. Brilliant cross by Sulakshana Piris. Straight into the line of that far post. And the defenders in the middle. Oh, it's just beautiful scenes. You just love to see that. The attackers in the middle rather than going for another shot. Making a hash of it, Mohammad Riflan. Like I did mention, the Negombo youth players in that previous goal, there were a couple of them occupying that center of the pitch as well. Here's the replay. Ambitious from Nishara Fernando, attempting to get another goal for himself, but what this has done is that as a result of Mohammad Riflan spilling the ball, it has given Negombo youth with another opportunity to cross, and it will be Mohammad Hakim. Mohammad Hakim with the cross. Michael Akwaye saying that there'll be none of that. Here's Brian Virapulli. His touch sends the ball out. Ball still in possession with Negombo youth. Godwin Amasevu getting past two defenders there, quite impressive. Here's an attempt at a through ball that's been intercepted. Just not able to keep it in, miscuing that shot. An opportunity, attacking position for Crystal Palace. And what can they do here? And this is the replay of that goal. You love to see that little cheeky little lob over the keeper. That was Nishara Fernando. And this was the second one. Capitalizing on the momentum created, Sulakshana Piris with that cross right into Mohammad Rifkan. Mahasen will be taking that throw in quickly. He has Hemant Bandaragoda in his peripheral, but he'll be going towards Brian Virapulli. Ball lands off his chest into the line of the attack, and Mohammad Shemak now with the ball. In this second half, we've seen a completely contrasting story to the first, where in the first half we saw Crystal Palace enjoying a lot of possession, Negombo youth deprived of it. In the second half, we haven't seen Crystal Palace save for this little passage of play, enjoying a lot of possession, and I think something Negombo youth have in the back of their mind as well, and Crystal Palace will of course be ruining their chances created in that first half. And now here's Crystal Palace advancing towards the front. A cloud of dust in this side of the pitch. Ref claims that it's play on. Open space. Bandaragoda with his experience. Shoulders play down. A good bit of defense by Sandhu Niroshan as well. Sandhu Niroshan has been quite brilliant in defense for Negombo youth. Have to say, leading the defensive line, communicating quite well with players on either side of him, making sure that no one goes past. But here's Sinnaraz Askar now. Askar hurried into that shot by the defenders, approaching him fast. Once again, just unable to finish. And if you do remember from the first half, Askar also did have an opportunity to lob it over the keeper, but he couldn't, he didn't, he at that moment didn't have the finesse. Ooh, and another good opportunity for Crystal Palace, taking all of us unaware. Sailing inches above the crossbar. Crystal Palace are desperately looking for that equalizer now. They were ahead, but just for a few minutes. Few minutes where Negombo Youth just turned the entire game on its heel. Here goes Negombo Youth again. Captain Anthony Namdi also looking for a goal. He knows that's why he's brought in. Once again, speculative shot, and Mohamed Riflan not collecting that well. He punches it down rather, and the ball trickles away, and this will be another opportunity for a cross, because the presence of Michael Akwaye in that box is almost an automatic deterrent to any goals being scored through ways of a corner, or rather through ways of a cross from a corner into the box. However, been proven wrong quite a few times in this game. Will this be another opportunity? Gets to the ball, but the goalkeeper wants to start this game off in a hurry. He has Mahasen in his peripheral, but he goes to the captain. The risky pass there, and a risky touch as well by Mohamed Riflan. But safely getting it past to his midfield. And here's Brian Veerapulli now with an opportunity. Keeper does quite well. That's Ganesh Krishant. Does just enough to get to the ball on time and subdue that attack. Once again, I have to say Sandhu Niroshan has been quite brilliant so far in defense for Negombo Youth, leading that defensive line. Yes, Chatumal Fernando. We haven't seen ball at his feet a lot. Chatumal Fernando could have chosen a better sequence rather than just booting it in front. Sinnaraz Askar unable to get to the ball, and just wondering if there might be a few substitutions for Crystal Palace, because it definitely looks like their front three quite gassed out, I would say, save for the young number 26 Dushanthan, Brian and Sinnaraz Askar, who admittedly have done a lot of running to and fro, unfortunately to no avail. However, they have been looking for those opportunities, and just wondering if some fresh legs wouldn't help Crystal Palace cause here. They do have Mohamed Inam in the bench. We know he's quite strong up front. We know he can finish off those goals. You also have Mohamed Farviz in the bench, all out attackers. So something that Crystal Palace fans will be hoping to see. But of course, we know the quality that Brian Veerapulli and Sinnarasa Askar also possess, despite playing all 70 minutes of the game. Fans will be hoping that they can go ahead, and they should be able to finish off quite well. Here's Madhu Sankatisera now on this side of the field with an opportunity to cross into the box, and he does so into the far post once again, just unable to keep it in. And it looks like they're targeting the far post because they want to avoid the towering figure of Michael Akwaye. It did work well once for them. Here's Sandhu Niroshan again, retaining the ball, so that will give the rest of his teammates some time to come in support. Here we go again. Ganesh Krishantha seems like he's in no hurry. Kill some seconds there. Negombo Youth know that they are one goal ahead. They know that Crystal Palace defense is quite tired. Mohammad Ilsham is retaining the ball so that Captain Shemak can come bail him out. And here's an opportunity. But Brian Veerapulli just not fast enough. Rather, the keeper faster than him to get to that ball. Here's Mahasen tussling for the ball there in that far corner. Mahasen Bandara. Looks like he's playing more of a central defensive midfielder role so far, because we know these players have the ability to be quite fluid as well. Godwin Amasevu. Goal scorer, dribbling past 1, 2, 3 players here. He's complaining that there was a tug on his jersey there. Definitely did look like he was stopped. Not completely legally. Mohammad Ilsham, tall man, heading that ball away. Here's Tisera attempting a through ball into the wing, into his wingers. Fortunately doesn't get it right. But here's a corner for Negombo Youth. Another corner for them. Will be interesting to see where they go this time. Mohammad Akim will be taking the corner once again. The tall Michael Akwaye right in the middle of that box. Not a lot of players, not a lot of yellow jerseys around him. Yellow jerseys staying on the outskirts of that horde of purple jerseys. Here's Mohammad Akim with the cross. Godwin Amasevu doing extremely well to clear that. Sulakshana Piris attempting to replicate Amasevu's volley. And unfortunately for the Negombo Youth fans, doesn't get it right. Crystal Palace will be thanking their lucky stars that he didn't. We are in the last quarter of the game. In regulation time, Crystal Palace have found themselves one goal behind. They have a couple more minutes plus additional time to make a difference here. And this Gampala side will be hoping that they are able to. Of course, we don't need a reminder that the Gampala area was harshly affected by the floods in December. And of course, that area also did include the Crystal Palace training ground as well. So for their sake, we hope that there has been a little bit of a recovery there. And here's Anthony Namdi now to Fernando. And Fernando now propelled to the side from Michael Acquire. Acquire doing brilliantly in defense there. Another standout defender for Crystal Palace. Mohamed Ilsham to Dushanthan. Dushanthan just sliding it in, and Sinnaraz Askar now. Ball still alive, but it's with the veteran defender Sandhu Niroshan, who makes no mistake there. Here's the replay. Goalkeeper doing everything right there to disrupt Sinnaraz Askar's run. Here's an opportunity. And it just trickles away. Out of play. Hemant Bandaragoda unable to retain it for himself, and there's just a bit of confusion there. If it was a throw-in or a corner, and it looks like it is a throw-in. If he's just having a few words there, he knows that time is of the essence for Crystal Palace. And a rethrow has been awarded for Negombo Youth. Hemant Bandaragoda boots it right behind the head of Mahasen, his own player. Brian Veerapulli there, attempting to get to the ball. Isn't able to do so in time. It's been a bit of a lull in play here, and as we are approaching the final 10 minutes of the game. While yesterday we did see some intense football in those final few minutes. Looks like the scoreline here will be giving us a rather more controlled, less chaotic final few minutes of play. But not if Crystal Palace will have anything to say. Hemant Bandaragoda with ball at his feet. He will have to use all of his experience here to make something out of this. Mohamed Shemak, the ball, long ball, over the players into his attack, not getting it right. And here's Fernando now with an opportunity for a through ball. His captain making the run. Fernando not able to get it right. Have to say, been quite impressed by Sivachelvam Dushanthan so far. Has played the entirety of that game. And rather puzzling, I would say, that Mohammad Inam hasn't come on yet. We know Mohammad Inam is a player of quality, so just wondering if there are any sort of injuries or anything of the sort, just keeping him out of this game. Final few minutes of regulation time here. Crystal Palace will be looking for an equalizer. Negombo Youth will be defending for dear life. And looks like play has just been stopped, as there seems to be an injury on the other side of the ground. Here's that previous goal by Godwin Amasevu. A thing of beauty. All 3 goals scored today have been rather exceptional and have involved a lot of skill as well. That's the first goal for Negombo Youth by Fernando. And here's the perfect cross right into Mohammad Rifkan, who makes no mistake. Brilliant to see such good goals being scored to break that deadlock. Looks like it was Mohammad Rifkan who was on the ground. Of course, these minutes being wasted of regulation time will be added on to injury time as well. So something to be mindful of. Hemantha Bandaragoda doing well to intercept that pass. Rather hopeful attempt at a pass there. Mahasen Bandara, slick feet, doing well. The referee has disrupted play there. It's paused play. He's not happy with how the defense was clinging on, literally, to Brian Veerapulli. And here's an opportunity in these final few minutes now for Crystal Palace to make a difference. Hemantha Bandaragoda, he's done this plenty of times. The corner goes in, sails in. Does not find Michael Akwaye or any other yellow jerseys, but finds the wall of yellow jerseys instead. Apologies, doesn't find any of purple jerseys. Mohammad Shemak, the captain, came in from behind, looking for that ball. Quite a number of injuries to the Negombo Youth players in these final few minutes. And a run being made into the front. It looks like was a distraction, and Negombo Youth are trying to find an overlap here. Here's Thisera. Long ball into the number 9, Mohammad Hakim. Mohammad Hakim will be looking for goal. Just a wayward shot there. Anthony Namdi applauding the effort, but just not enough for that third goal. Here's Hakim's shot. Just a little too much on it in terms of getting that direction right. But what that has given them is an opportunity for a corner. And it feels like if Negombo Youth does score here, it will be game over for Crystal Palace. Here's the cross coming in. Tussle for the ball. We have Anthony Namdi, the captain. He will find his number 9, Mohammad Akim. And Akim will have another go, but finds just the defender. Here's Thisera now. Thisera looking to find his player. And here's Fernando. Once again, finding open space. Mohammad Akim. There will be number of players rushing into the box here. And here's an opportunity now for a cross. But Michael Acquire doing everything right to stop Namdi from making an impact. And Chatumal Fernando with a rather wayward shot there. And it looks like there's a substitution for Crystal Palace. Will be Mohammad Sajid coming in for the experienced Brian Veerapulli. Not a like-for-like substitution, as enough our sheet. Mohammad Sajid has been designated as a midfielder. And Brian Veerapulli, of course, as an all and out attacker. However, quite certain that Mohammad Sajid can be effective in the front as well, or will be supporting that front. See Mohammad Sajid playing in the midfield. Mahasen moving on to the win. Sinnaraz Askar. Ball still in play here. Dushantan to Shemak. And here's Hemant Bandaragoda. Rather hopeful cross. And Crystal Palace will be hoping that the injection of these fresh legs, the infusion of these fresh legs will be getting them a goal. Godwin Amasevu going for goal there, but a wayward shot and a cloud of dust forming in that area of the pitch, which wouldn't be conducive for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace attackers looking to press hard, looking to press high, looking to put pressure on these defenders. But so far, have been pretty good with the ball at their feet. Mohammad Shemak taking the ball quickly. Hemant Bandaragoda wins the ball for his team. It's Mahasen Bandara attempting to win it back. Apologies. Here's Mohammad Riflan with the long ball. An opportunity now for a long throw into the box. It's the number 29, Nagaratnam Ajit Kumar, who will be taking the first of those throws. And here we go again, looking for a long one in. Doesn't get it right. Still opportunity to cross. Still opportunity to pass. Sinnaraz Askar passing it into the heart of the box, but finding the Negombo Youth defenders, of course. And Negombo Youth keen on designing a counter attack for themselves here, but ball being stolen by Mahasen Bandara. Hemant Bandaragoda in this left wing position. He has gone up the field. Apologies, in this right. Hemant Bandaragoda now with the throw in. Hemant Bandaragoda will be looking for that cross. He has done it multiple times. He just needs to do it today. And here's the cross. Well defended once again by Negombo Youth, who has been exceptional in their defense today, I have to say. Here are the two goal scorers charging down. But it's a big man, Michael Akwaye, once again, who disrupts that attack. We will be having a few added minutes here. There were quite a number of injuries, pauses in the game as well. But the question is, will that be enough for Crystal Palace to find a winner? Or rather, to find an equalizer? Godwin Amasevu doing everything he can to retain the ball. And referee calls play back, and it's just 4 minutes of added time here. 4 minutes for Crystal Palace to make a difference. 4 minutes for Crystal Palace to score the fourth goal of the game as well. So here we go. Free kick floated in. The header by Michael Akwaye goes towards goal, but has been kept out. Ganesh Krishantha will take his own sweet time with the restart. Negombo Youth are in no hurry here. Just a few adjustments before restart. Yes, Sandhu Niroshan barreling it down. Godwin Amasevu. Goal scorer Rifkan running down that wing. He's looking for support. Finds it in the form of Malisha Pereira. Here's Tisera passing forward, and all these passes have found them so far. Unfortunately, did not find the captain at that point. They could have put the game to rest if they had scored a goal there. Valiant effort to keep that ball in. But we are reaching the final few minutes of the game. How much longer can Negombo Youth hold on? Crystal Palace, a quality side, have been deprived of any goal scoring chances save that first one. And it looks like we'll be having two Negombo Youth players on the ground. Of course, these passes should be added to those 4 minutes as well. The number 9, Mohammad Hakim, seems to be in a little bit of pain here. We'll give the Negombo Youth defenders some time to breathe as well, some time to calm themselves down. Final few minutes of the game, final few plays. Godwin Amasevu and Fernando going for the ball. Godwin pushes it out to ensure that his defenders have enough time to make it forward, and he keeps it in, and a massive boot there from Negombo Youth to take that ball out of play. They wouldn't be too much worried about this. Crystal Palace still looking for that equalizer. Ball goes out of play, and that's the winner. That's the whistle. Negombo Youth have triumphed over Crystal Palace today. And what a match we've had on our hands. The final score 2-1. Negombo Youth, having been 1-0 down, came back with back-to-back goals in order to secure this victory for themselves. It will be heartbreaking for Crystal Palace. They played a brilliant first half. They didn't finish off the chances they created, and that has come back to bite them. Here's the full-time confirmation. Crystal Palace 1 goal courtesy of Godwin Amasevu and a brilliant, beautiful volley. And then 2 back-to-back goals in quick time from Negombo Youth. First one courtesy of Nishara Fernando, and the second a header from Mohammad Rifkan. And in this relegation round, round 2, Crystal Palace has been defeated by Negombo Youth, and it will be a good trip back for these Negombo players who've travelled all the way here to Calendia. Here are the highlights from the game. And the crucial chance for Crystal Palace. Beautiful volley. Could watch that all day. Godwin Amasevu making no mistake. Crystal Palace did have a few more chances, but then this beauty from Nishara Fernando, lobbing it over the head of the keeper and then gently caressing it into the back of the net. Sulakshana Piris with that amazing cross to the far post, and a beautifully directed header from Mohammad Rifkan gave Negombo Youth their second goal, and from that point onwards, Crystal Palace just couldn't pierce that strong Negombo defense. Time and time again, they had plenty of opportunities, but they just couldn't get past that Negombo defense, of course, led by Sandun Niroshan, who played a brilliant shift here today in this game. And at full time, it's Negombo Youth who come off as the winners in this relegation round, and points for them. Crystal Palace would be disappointed. They scored first. They could have gone home with their points, but they allowed 2 goals to go through, and as a result, Negombo Youth are the victors today in this relegation round of the Sri Lanka Football Champions League. And with that, with those jubilant cheers from Negombo Youth, we'll be finishing off for the day. It's been a pleasure commentating this game, this exciting game, and we'll be back tomorrow with a lot of action as well. We'll be having one relegation round match here in the Calendia Football Complex. We'll be having 2 matches played in Racecourse from the Super 8. So keep your eyes peeled for a ton of action. We'll be back. So stay tuned.
kick වේ පිටියේ ජයදා ජලලදේ රැසේ Champions League එක හද ගැස්මේ හැඟුමන් kick වේ ජවයෙන් නැරඹෙන්නේ පාදි දුලන්නේ විහිදී දසතේ ගෝල් එක ගන්නයි සිත් සැරසෙන්නේ සමරොක් වෙන්නේ සද්දෙට දෙන්නේ We are one game One heart Whoa,